to a restaurant with no idea what to order? Well, I have a wonderful solution. A very common meal, eaten all around the world, loved by many, and sold almost anywhere, with many variations. A delectable plastic bag, and a nice refreshing glass of gasoline. What? You don't think so? That doesn't sound very good? That's essentially what you've been putting in your mouth. The chemical petroleum is used in many foods, as well as being the main ingredient in plastic, gas, and a lot of other things you wouldn't knowingly put in your mouth. That's what I would like to talk about today. I'll go through three main points. First, what petroleum is. Second, where petroleum is found. And third, what petroleum can do to your mind and your body. So first of all, what is petroleum? According to Dr. Norman J. Hine, we get the word petroleum from the Greek. Petro means rock and oleum means oil. Petroleum is 84 to 87% carbon, which is ground up into dead dinosaurs or other animals that lived thousands of years ago. 11 to 14% is hydrogen. The rest is nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and some other chemicals. This mixture is extracted from the ground as a smelly yellow or black oil. This oil is then put into gasoline, plastic, and some other things. What other things? Let's see. In Mrs. Jane Hershey's YouTube video on chemical additives in your food, she asked, how many cherries do you think went into this box of cherry jello? The ingredients are sugar, gelatin, adipic acid, artificial flavor, disodium phosphate, sodium citrate, fumaric acid, red 40, and blue 1. Not a single cherry. But petroleum is mentioned at least 3 times in different disguises. Artificial flavors usually contain petroleum. So do colors with the number following, like red 40 or blue 1. In fact, these colors are now required to come with a warning label in Europe that says it may be harmful to children. There are also some other names for petroleum, like PBHQ, BHA, and BHT. Petroleum is everywhere, hiding in disguise. Just look around you. Where might the color on your ballot sheet or your t-shirt come from? Probably petroleum. What about your favorite perfumes or air fresheners? Probably petroleum. What about a can of Dr. Pepper, a bar of Godiva chocolate, or your neon-colored cereal? Definitely petroleum. There's petroleum in your dyes, foods, cosmetics, medicines, and more. Petroleum isn't very expensive, and it's easy to manipulate into flavors, colors, and smells, making it affordable for a price. What it does to you. What does it do to you? Well, I have problems with it. When I eat a petroleum-based food or smell a petroleum-based air freshener, I can't sleep. I can't think. Petroleum basically shuts down the part of my brain that thinks through decisions. My mother's asthma acts up, and she gets headaches so bad she spends 2 days in bed unable to move. My sister shows all signs of childhood bipolar. My father faces chronic fatigue. My friend says he becomes a different person. At Wisconsin Central Alternative High School, a place designed for unruly kids to go, the school board decided to remove all petroleum-based food products from the school lunch. The change was dramatic. Test scores went up, the number of fights went down, and there was an overall improvement with the way students acted. The only change the entire student body went through was what they ate for lunch. Petroleum was influencing them that much. Would you believe some of the damaging effects of petroleum in your food can be asthma, attention deficits, cancer, aggression, bedwetting, migraine headaches, decreased sleep, learning deficits, hyperactivity, tumors, hives, low frustration tolerance, nerve damage, and obesity. While discussing this speech topic with some of my friends, I kept coming across the same answer. It's worth it. The food I can't eat if I avoid petroleum is too good to give up. Trust me, it's not worth it. First, consider petroleum often contains chemicals like lead, arsenic, and mercury, which are deadly in most cases. Now, reassess. Is it worth it? Is that Snickers bar worth a headache? Is that slushie from Sonic worth problems with your family? what's really worth it? I also came across this answer. It doesn't affect me like it affects you. Okay, maybe petroleum doesn't give you a headache. How do you know it's not increasing the risk of long-term problems like cancer, obesity, or diabetes? Also, remember how I said the colors red 40 and blue 1 are now required to come with a warning label in Europe? May be harmful to children? Now I'll tell you why. In 2004, researchers in the Isle of Wight, UK performed a double-blind study where neither the scientists or the children being tested knew who was receiving the petroleum-based food product and who was receiving the placebo. Preschool students were put on an elimination diet for 1 week, removing all the petroleum-based food dyes and a preservative called sodium benzoate. In the next 3 weeks, the children were asked to drink the juice containing either the sodium benzoate, the petroleum-based food dye, or the placebo. Of the 277 children tested, all of them showed increased signs of hyperactivity after being given the petroleum-based food dye versus the placebo, whether or not they had shown previous signs of hyperactivity. In 2007, the study was duplicated, coming back with the same results, showing petroleum-based food dyes causing hyperactivity in children. But you don't have to go up as much as you would think if you eat petroleum-free or all-natural. A lot of things have a natural alternative. Instead of this cherryless jello I talked about, there are a lot of other alternatives that work just as well. Instead of the wild red soda packed with red 40, there are natural products like hand soap. Instead of the Three Musketeers bar, there are products like Unreals, which I know from experience taste a whole lot better. Instead of a medicine that puts their red food dye in their medicines, there are a lot of clear alternatives, so you don't get a headache when you're trying to solve one. Some companies like Pringles even have one of their flavors filled with petroleum and another petroleum-free. Sometimes the petroleum-free products take a little longer to find. Sometimes they are a little bit more expensive. But it is worth it. You won't have to pay as many hospital or psychiatric bills in the future. And you don't have to do all this work yourself. Feingold is an organization that helps you steer clear of petroleum-based food products, from food to hair care. They give you booklets that lead you on relatively simple change to help you eliminate petroleum in all of its disguises. 1 Corinthians 6, verses 19 to 20 says, "Do you not know your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Therefore honor God with your bodies." Josh, this last question I want to ask you is why? God gave you one body to live in for your whole life. Why would you put something in it that you know harms it? So I hope you'll think twice next time you pick up your neon-colored cereal with the main ingredient in plastic. Remember, petroleum is for your car, not for your food. Thank you.